Hi everyone, the next two videos will cover selectors, and that's because while writing properties and values declarations is a fairly straightforward task, finding the right selector and using appropriate selectors throughout your CSS is a very difficult thing to do, and therefore understanding exactly how selectors work and which ones you should be using is an incredibly important skill for anybody learning CSS. So, how do selectors work? Basically, every selector that you use is going to locate and target a particular type of thing within your HTML. However, it's not going to just target one specific element, with a few exceptions. Most selectors instead target types of content. So it's going to say things like, I want all of my paragraphs to behave in this way, or I want all of my headings to behave this way, or I want my image captions to be this size and italics, or things like that. So you need to think of it in that way, that it's not finding a specific element, but it's finding types of elements. It's finding everything that fits the category of what the selector specifies. So let's start with the easiest and most straightforward type of selector, and that is an element selector. And element selectors are simply the name of the tag for that element in HTML. So to target every single IMG tag, you do IMG. To target every single paragraph, you would do P. To target every single list item, you would do LI. And that will target all things within the linked HTML document with that particular element. The second kind, and a fairly easy, straightforward kind as well, is descendant elements. And descendant selectors will select any given thing that is within another given thing. So let's take a pretty common example, which is I want to specifically target list items inside of unordered lists. And that would be done with UL space LI. And the thing to note here is that what you are actually targeting is the very last thing in your descendant selector. Everything before that is detailing the parents of that particular descendant. And you can have multiple generations here. So you could have, for instance, I want every ULLI that is I want every LI that is inside of a UL that is inside of a section. So it's only finding LIs whose parents are ULs and whose grandparents are section. And this is a really useful thing. You can drill down multiple levels, and it's very frequent that you will want to drill down within the hierarchy, within the tree of elements, to several generations. But the really important thing to remember is what you are actually targeting is that very last thing. And the things before it are simply parents, grandparents, etc. And they're separated with a space between them. You can also target every element with a particular attribute value pair, or particular types of values. So let's take an example of, we want specifically hyperlinks with the href attribute. As you learned in the HTML videos, there are other types of hyperlinks, such as name hyperlinks for same page hyperlinks. And those are going to be ones that have a name. Instead, here we can do a href, which will allow you to target only the ones that have some kind of an href attribute within them. You can also say, I want to target hrefs with the value of http://google.com. And that will say I want to find every A that has an href value of this URL right here. You'll note that the syntax is a little different than HTML. Your attribute will go here, and then without a space, a bracket plus the attribute here, the equal sign, and then the value here. So tag name, bracket, attribute equals value, right bracket, and no quotation marks around the value. There's also a really useful thing you can do with symbols that will allow you to specify partial values. So, for instance, if I wanted to say I want to find hrefs that contain, you can do the asterisk before the equal sign, the word Google. That's going to find all hrefs containing the word Google in them anywhere in the value. There's also ending with and beginning with. Beginning with is a caret, but it's less frequently used. Ending with is a $sign. And this one is really useful for finding things like, let's say I want every link, so every hyperlink whose file it hyperlinks to ends in PDF. That might allow me to say, like, okay, here's all of my PDF hyperlinks, and I want to style all of those by, say, adding an icon next to them that shows that they are a PDF download. So the contains and the begins and the ends, especially contains and ends, are really, really useful additions to the targeting of attributes and values. There are several other types of selectors, including classes, IDs, group selectors, and pseudo selectors, but those will be covered in the next video. Thanks for watching.